Morning peeps, how are we all doing? So I'm going out for a little jaunt this morning. Got my other Bergen on this morning. Not as much weight as I would normally carry, but I thought I'd give it a go. I've also got my new Titfer, which my granddaughter bought me. Yeah, she said, your hat needs to match your Bergen, Granddad. So I'm taking it out on a trial run, see what it feels like. Anyway, my mate Keith, Let's Tab 59, did a video yesterday about Gulf War syndrome. Now myself, I'm a Gulf War veteran. I served out there in the war in 91. And Gulf War syndrome, well, there's nothing wrong with me. No, I'm not going to take the mick about Gulf War syndrome, because one of the things is it's a condition that some people are subjected to. Same as I suffer with PTSD from my military career, and there's a lot of people going, oh, PTSD, oh, it's nothing. Even to the point my own sister slagged me off on Facebook, or Fastbook as I call it, about my condition. I allowed my PTSD to get the better of me, and I nearly lost my wife Lisa thanks to it. So thanks very much, Sue, for not believing your brother or anything. Really appreciate it. It's not why I don't speak to you anymore. But Gulf War syndrome, yes, it is a condition, and it was recognised by the American government a long while ago. Blokes came back, they had various conditions. Children were born with deformities and so on, and the British government, as always, just washed their hands. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about. Now, while we were out there, we were a bit like guinea pigs, to be honest. I remember in one day, our medic, Chalky White, who was attached with me to 39 Heavy Regiment, gave us 3 injections. Now, 2 of them, he told me what they were. One was bubonic plague, the other one was anthrax. But a third one, didn't tell us what that one was, but I believed it was a placebo to try and speed up the process of the other 2. Because at the time of the Gulf War, we were fairly certain that old Saddam Hussein was going to hit us with all sorts of biological and chemical weapons. And if you look back at the Iraq War, old Tony Blair told a pack of lies and said that he had these weapons of mass destruction. As it turned out, they didn't. Yeah, but that's another story. But Gulf War syndrome does exist. I know a few people that have got it, and it has affected them. It's affected their families, it's affected their children. So it does exist. Unfortunately, as with everything with the British government, when it's a case of taking care of our veterans, yeah, they tend to wash their hands of it. You know, you've done your stint, you've done your service, yeah, bugger off, you get nothing. And yet, if you look at other things where they pay out compensation, thousands of pounds worth of compensation to people, you've got to laugh, you really have. But like I say, in the Gulf War, we were used as a bit of guinea pig. There's no 2 ways about that. One of the things was we had to take these things called NAPS tablets. Now, some guys took them, some guys didn't. I did, yeah, because as an NBC instructor at the time, I thought it was the best thing to do. So I took my NAPS tablets. We also had the wonderful NIAID system, nerve agent immuniser alarm system. Now that constantly used to go off. So we were forever in and out of NBC kit. And some of the guys, and I know one bloke that decided to use his atropine pen. Now normally you would inject yourself once every 15 minutes, yeah, to make your system sort of immune, if possible, to nerve agent. But he decided to whack all 3 in at the same time. Yeah, and he ended up with atropine poisoning. But going back to the bubonic plague and anthrax injections, one of the lads that I was with, a bloke called John Brook. John Brook was built like a stick. Yeah, thin as a rake, really was. We had the injections. That evening, while sleeping in the back of the truck, all I could hear was John moaning. And early hours of the morning, when I finally woke up, I said to him, "You all right, son?" And he looked at me and went, "Don't think so, Nobs, I can't sleep." And he showed me his arm, the arm where he'd been injected. He had a bicep that old Arnold Schwarzenegger would have been well proud of. John had had a reaction to the injection. He got airlifted out to back to Al-Jubail. We were in a quarry up near the border with Iraq, a place called Al-Qasuma. But he got airlifted out back to Al-Jubail, spent 5 days there, and then ended up returning back to us at Al-Qasuma. So when people go on about Gulf War syndrome and everything, I can understand it. You know, I witnessed it myself with one of my colleagues, like I say, John Brook, in the fact of what happened to him with the injections. I've also had friends after coming back from the Gulf War, yeah, that have said that they believe they got Gulf War syndrome. And there's various things have happened. One of them, a very good friend of mine, his wife fell pregnant. When the baby was born, there was all sorts of problems with the birth of that child. But like I say, the American government, yeah, when the lads came back from the Gulf War, they recognised the fact that there was an issue, yeah, and they've compensated those veterans for what happened to them. But all these years on, I'm pretty sure our British government has turned around, no, you're not getting nothing. But that tends to be the thing with us. We go out, we do their dirty work, yeah, we get involved in conflicts that in some cases, some people would say we shouldn't even be there, and in some cases I would agree with you. But yeah, you do your duty, you come back, and then you're stiffed by the British government. So, like I say, Keith did a thing on Gulf War syndrome. Like I say, I am a Gulf War veteran, got the medal and the badge and whatever, and like I say, it does exist, but I won't decry it, yeah, because it does exist as far as I'm concerned. I know people that it's affected. So maybe it's time for the government to finally really look into it. Yeah, okay, we're talking what, 30 odd years now, but look into it properly and compensate those guys. Yeah, like I say, it didn't affect all of us. A lot of us that came back were perfectly fine. Probably suffered with PTSD after coming back from the Gulf War, from being in battle and seeing some of the things that we've seen. I was that close to Mutler Ridge, which was known as the Valley of Death. It was the Basra Road coming out of Kuwait. Yeah, when the A-10s and the Apaches went in there and obliterated the Iraqi forces that had stolen vehicles, yeah, to try and get out of Kuwait because they were being overrun. Part of my PTSD comes from that, but to be honest, a major part of it is from the Bosnia conflict. I did 3 tours in Bosnia. All 3 of them, besides the last one, started off as United Nations and then moved to IFOR. But like I say, there are conditions out there. I know full well that Porton Down used to do tests on squaddies. I had a very good friend of mine, a bloke called Mick Ellis, vehicle electrician. Mick was known as the ugliest man in NATO. And he was the ugliest man in the HO, let me tell you. But Mick signed up to get taken away to Portendown, get all sorts of tests run on him. Yeah, and like I say, we were used as guinea pigs. But no one will admit to it, that's the problem. Yeah, and until the government admits to what they've been doing, there's nothing we can do, is there? Yeah. So like I say, I'm going to go out for a nice little jaunt, heading down to the reservoir. So by the time I've finished, we're probably talking around about 5 miles. I've decided that I need to start building up on my strength. As I say, I went out on Sunday, had my music on, went out and did a 5 miler. Didn't realise I was doing it. By the time I got down to the reservoir, I was 2.5 miles out, so I did a 5 miler. But yeah, if anyone wants to know more about the Gulf War, I will be posting some pictures of when we were out there on another post. I've yet to figure out how to do pictures and add audio at the same time. But there's a couple of pictures there, mainly from after the war, when the war ended, when we were stuck in the desert. But one thing I've got is a picture of myself stood next to my Land Rover, yeah, and you won't believe it, but that picture was taken at 11 AM in the morning. And thanks to the Iraqi forces setting fire to all the oil wells in Kuwait, yeah, day became night. So maybe that's what's caused some of the Gulf War syndrome. Maybe, we don't know, do we? But like I say, I will post a short video with a lot of pictures of me and my colleagues out in the Gulf War. One of them being at Mutler Ridge, so you'll see the damage that was done to some of the vehicles as they tried to escape, and you can imagine the mayhem that went on there. So anyway, I'm going to crack on, get down to the bottom. I'll probably do a little bit of a review on it when I get down to the bottom, let you know how I'm doing, and I'll catch up with you soon. Okay, so this is part of my walk. Over to the right here, as you can see, behind that mound is Mount Sorrel Quarry. Now, I know within Mount Sorrel and Corn at the moment, there's a big thing because the people at the quarry want to expand it. And there's a bit of a protest going on at the moment, but I don't know if you can see it clearly enough here, but you will notice that what they are actually doing is actually regenerating the land. And that's going to be a nature reserve there with a wooded area with walks for people like myself to go through. I fully understand where people come from about the environment and everything like that. But one of the things is these people that complain are probably also people that moan about the state of the roads. Well, the quarry here provides all the slate and everything to do our roads, and down there through the gap you can see is the reservoir where I'm heading to. But this road here, known as Kinchley Lane, loads of walkers come down here, especially during the weekends. Unfortunately, we've got the boy racers that come down here as well, and it can be a bit dangerous at times. So it's one of the reasons I've got these bone conductive headphones so that I can hear anything that's coming behind me. But as you can see, it's quite a long trek down. It's quite steep coming back up, and there was a time when I used to run up and down this one. It was only probably no more than a year ago I would run up and down here, but obviously after having a stroke 2 months ago I've got to take things steady, so I'm going to. So I shall leave it there. Okay, now over to our left there, in the mist, is a beautiful place here in Leicestershire called Bradgate Park. Now you can't see it at the moment, but there's a folly up there called Old John that looks like a beer mug. But as you can see, the countryside around here where I walk is absolutely beautiful. And it's one of the things that I love doing, is getting out in the fresh air. So hopefully you've got something like this around your area. And if you have, then do yourselves a big favour, get out and start using it. Yeah, it's free. You don't need to spend money going to a gym or anything like that. Just taking out a little walk out into the fresh air will do you a power of good, and it's absolutely free.